Okay. Okay. Hi guys, so welcome back to this new episode of Is It Inclusive? So Is It Inclusive is a new series that I've just decided to do. It consists of reviewing a few products that are really highly rated in the community and debating whether they are inclusive or not. Of course, this video is going to include a review of the main product, and at the end of the video I will discuss my points on the product as to know whether it is inclusive or not. This is just to bring more positivity, no negativity whatsoever. This is not to bash brands, but mainly just to raise awareness and help companies and consumers think before they purchase, and the companies to help them realize that we do appreciate great products. We would just love it if they were available to everybody. Really, that's just it. So let's get started with today's review. Today we are reviewing the YSL Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow Foundation. So if you're interested in knowing more about this product right here, please continue to watch. Alright, so let's get this started. Today, like I said, we're talking about this foundation right here, which is the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow Foundation. First of all, for shade reference, I am using the shade B70. Usually in all YSL foundation, I am shade B70. I own this one as well, which is the Le Teint Touche Eclat, also B70. The colors are pretty similar, but I will just say that in this foundation, the color match is a lot more accurate than the other one. Again, so here, this product we're reviewing today is a foundation. If we read the claims of YSL on the Sephora website, it claims that this foundation is of a medium coverage and is suitable for sensitive, normal, dry, combination, and oily skin with a natural finish. For those claims, I will get to those and tell you whether they're true or not a little bit later. Also, what they say is a 70% concentration of watery essence in the formula leaves the skin with a glitter-free, dewy look and a fresh feeling all day. This natural medium coverage oil-free foundation also offers long-lasting hydration. So this is basically what this foundation claims to be, and I will be honest with you, I do find those claims to be very true. Yeah, I'm not lying. Honestly, what I found that was really interesting about this product is the feel of it on the skin. It is very light feeling on the skin, not heavy at all. I usually use 2 pumps of this product to do my whole face. I will show you that in a clip where I apply the foundation. I usually find this foundation to be applied with 2 pumps really nicely. Also, the consistency of the foundation is very watery. Like they said, it's 70% water. It feels, the best I could describe it to you, because it's not a creamy finish, it's not thick, it's, you know when you use like hand sanitizer, those liquid ones, they kind of squirt out as a gel, and then as you rub it in, it kind of dissolves into a watery finish. I feel like this foundation gives you that exactly on the skin. Also, what I noticed about this foundation is that it has a scent. The scent is kind of a watermelon fruity scent, but not so watermelony. It's kind of a cosmetic scent, but like a hint of watermelon, which is very pleasant in my opinion. But if you're sensitive to smell, take note of that. I feel like when you're applying it on the face, you can smell it, but after a couple of minutes, it kind of disappears. It doesn't smell all that much after, but you can clearly tell that there's a scent to this foundation. Now let's talk about the coverage of this foundation. On the website, it claims to be a medium coverage foundation. I would honestly call it more of a light coverage foundation. I would say that this foundation is a solid light coverage foundation. To me, there's these different categories: sheer coverage, light coverage, medium coverage, full coverage, and there's also the in-betweens. So people are going to say this is a light to medium coverage or medium to full coverage, meaning that they're buildable. I would not consider this product to be very buildable in my opinion because of the formula. It's so light. I feel like you would just keep on piling on water onto your face and it's just not going to be that flattering. But this is to me a solid light coverage in the sense that this would be a great product to apply every day for everyday wear. So basically going to work, going to the gym, if you like to do a little bit of makeup, going to the gym, errands, whatever. I feel like you could just squirt that onto your hands, spread it onto your face, and go about your day. Or with a beauty blender, that's how I use it. If you have oily skin, because like they said on the website, this foundation caters to sensitive, dry, oily combination skin types. So I would say, yeah, of course, everybody could use this product, but you're going to need proper care for it to look good and last all day. So for combination to oily skin, I feel like you can definitely just set this product with powder and it would look totally fine, because once you apply this onto the skin, it does look very shiny. It's not a greasy shine, but it's a very high shine. There's no glitter whatsoever. It's just a very reflective formula. But I find that since it is a water finish and not like a creamy or greasy formula, you can really set it and matte it down and to have it look completely matte without no efforts, really. I don't know if you can tell right now, but my face is pretty matte other than the, my highlighted areas on my cheeks. Those are very glowy, but the rest of my face I've just set with a loose powder. This one is the Chantecaille Talk Free Loose Powder. That's just great to mattify. Also as primer, today I used the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser just to smooth down my pores, and I felt like those really worked well together. And I find that you could use whatever powder on top to make it matte. It's gonna work. So for those claims, I'd say that they're real. The only thing I have to say is that it's not a solid medium, but more of a solid light coverage. I will let you see that right now. I have a clip of me applying it and you can kind of see for yourself what you think. So as you can see, I started with one pump just to show you what kind of coverage you're gonna get out of one pump, and give you a feel for what I look like with one pump. Like I said, I am in the shade B70. If you are a similar skin tone to me, I'm a MAC NC47 for shade of reference. So if you're around that skin tone, I feel like B70 would be a great match for you. I know that right now on the camera it may look a little yellow greenish, but in actual daylight it looks perfectly perfect with my skin tone. Honestly, it's one of the best matches that I've got out of a foundation. Alright, so you saw what the application of this was with a sponge. I did not even bother to use a brush to apply this because it is so light, and I feel like when I use a brush, I'm just swirling the product around, and I don't like the feeling of that. It's just so watery. It just doesn't feel like, I feel like a creamier foundation will work better with a brush, and something that's so, because it's not water, as you could tell when I squirted it on my hand, it doesn't like leak down. It's a gel kind of consistency that kind of dissolves into a watery feeling. So I do prefer a sponge. This is the Eco Tool sponge that I was using, and I love this sponge to death. So that's that. So for those claims, for the people that are looking for an everyday type of easy product like a BB cream or a CC cream or just like a tinted moisturizer with a little bit more coverage, I feel like this product would work. It's a good everyday staple foundation. But then again, would you want to spend $59 on an everyday foundation? I personally wouldn't mind, because I like to splurge on the things that I really enjoy, that gives me pleasure and joy, so I don't mind. But for some people, they'd rather spend a bigger amount of money for a product that they're going to use sparingly to save it for special occasion. But if you're not like that, and if you don't mind spending coins, I do feel like this is a great everyday foundation for people that just want something light, easy, no-brainer. as long as you set it well and you use a mattifying primer if you have oily to combination skin. But for the rest of us with normal to dry, dehydrated, this is great. This is just great. Now let's talk about the part where we discuss if it is inclusive or not. From the Sephora website, you could tell that this foundation comes in 12 different shades. Just the number 12 kind of irritates me when I hear 12, because there are no 12 shades of color. It just doesn't make sense when you think of it like that. But there are 12 shades, and out of those 12 shades, I would say that there are about 4 shades for women of color. And I'm being very generous, because if I was very truthful to myself, I would say there are 3 shades. But I've included a shade that is a little bit lighter, but there are very lighter shades of brown. So I would say there are about 4 shades. So it would start at B60, then B70, which is my shade, then B80, and then we got B90. What I like about the 4 shades is that they did very distinctive shades. B90 being the darkest shade is very deep. So it's a very rich, very deep shade of brown that I feel like could benefit from people who usually are not able to find that deep of a foundation. So that's great. Then we have B80, which is a reddish kind of shade, not very dark, but it's kind of a reddish. If you're about my skin tone but with red undertones, that would work great. Then we have B70, which looks like this, which is more of a yellow complected skin. And then we have B60, which is, to me, looks like a little bit of a Caucasian color, but I'm pretty sure that there are black people that are those shades, but it's like of a medium deep peachy based shade. So those are the shades. I like the way they did it, because I feel like it's not all orange shades or all red shades. It's, you know, a little bit of everything, but it's just one of every, you know, it doesn't make sense. There's definitely a need for expansion in this. They need to triple the line, so 12 times 2 or 3 to make this more inclusive. But then again, for these types of products, I tend to be more forgiving because the coverage is so light. I feel like you can kind of stretch it out to fit multiple people. I keep comparing this to the CC because they're very different, but this line doesn't have many shades either, but this is so full coverage that it's not forgiving. This shade is your if it's not your shade, you can tell. While it's this, I feel like someone a little bit lighter could wear this, someone a little bit darker, still with yellow undertone, you have to respect undertone though, could wear this because it's so light. You can kind of stretch it to work. But then again, it needs expansion. I feel like great products like this, I'm so happy when I find great products that actually work for me, because I feel like other people are going to be able to enjoy them, but not everybody's going to be able to wear them. So we need to bring awareness for companies to hear that we actually enjoy these products and that we need them available for everybody. So I feel like that's just the way to do it. So that's why I'm here and I'm doing it for you guys. I'm showing you what's great and what's not necessarily inclusive and what is actually inclusive that we should encourage. So yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't think I've covered the actual packaging. This is the squeezy tube, just like the It Cosmetics. That's one of the things that drew me to this, because it's really easy to use and it comes with a pump. That's great. We always want a pump in the foundation. So yes, I hope I kind of covered this subject, and I hope that you did understand that this foundation is not inclusive. It is not women of color friendly. But out of those four shades, I would say give it a try if you think you can fit in this spectrum, because like I said, there's some give to it. You can kind of stretch it to multiple skin tones, kind of. So if you get to try it, please leave in the comments down below how you felt about it, how you liked it, what worked, what didn't work. For me, it's definitely a go. This is a good everyday foundation for me, and I've been wearing it for quite a bit now, so I would say I would recommend for people who can actually wear it. All right, so that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and thumbs up because that helps. And hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye.